Hi, this is a video I wanted to make about landing phase. This is the Luna here is Arteezy, and he ended up losing this game very quickly. But I thought that his landing phase was quite good, and there was a lot of information that could be garnished from it. So let's jump in here. So I'm just gonna chill on this screen for a second. So first thing that I want to look at here is the lineups. So with this, with Dyer here, you're going to have Weaver offlane, because nobody else can really go offlane. I mean, maybe you could run like an offlane Omni Knight, but then you have like a jungle Weaver or something, so that's just not good. Then Luna carry, Evoker mid, then Omni Shadow Demon support duo, which really isn't the best of lanes. Can't exactly tri-lane with that, but I mean, maybe you can. I think they did end up running dual lanes in this game, or you could like run the Omni Knight safe with the Luna and then roam the Shadow Demon. But yeah, that's beside the point. And then what you really want to look at, if we're looking from Arteezy's perspective here, is the enemy lineup. So you know that two of Morphling, PA, and Arc Warden are going to be your mid or safe lane cores. All of those can go mid or safe lane, and then probably Morphling or Arc Warden can support. I think in this game it was an Arc Warden support. You know the Ricky's going to be roaming, and then you know the Spirit Breaker has to go offlane because nobody else can go offlane. So automatically in your head you anticipate Spirit Breaker offlane, which is, you know, he's tanky, he's hard to kill, he's annoying in lane, but he's not exactly going to pressure you in lane. And then you think maybe you've got a Ricky roaming in there. Maybe it's like Morphling support, and he just comes up there and you strength Morphling of 5 seconds stuns you. Then you also want to look at the weaknesses of the heroes. Like Arc Warden has a crap ton of magic damage early game, which just sort of kills Luna. PA kind of kills Luna. Morphling kills Luna, which is probably the reason why they lost this game. But that's beside the point. Let's hit play here. I'm gonna player perspective on Arteezy here. Alright, so it looks like he actually random Luna this game, but
prepare for battle.
Chill here for a second.
Oh yes. This one, my friends, is in the bag.
Alright, 2 branches. Okay, so let's look at the side build here. So he's got the Windlace, which just gives you move speed, so you're incredibly fast, because Luna already has just crap loads of. I think she's like the second fastest hero. So you're just absurdly fast, which not only gives you escape potential by just being able to walk away because you're fast, but it can also give you kill potential because you're so fast you can catch up, you can run down the guy without boots, etc., etc. And then Tango and a salve, fairly standard. Some lanes you might skip the salve, but since you're anticipating the Spirit Breaker off lane, which is probably going to try to try to right click trade with you a lot, then you want the salve, as well as you're anticipating the Ricky roaming. And then this, probably just rushing a wand, I guess, and then just generic stats, helps you last hit, etc. Then he's going to level Lunar Blessing here, level 1, because that gives you 14 bonus damage, which allows you to last hit rather easily, as well as the Night Vision, which is probably the more important part of the skill past, first nighttime. Anyway, so let's speed up a little bit here.
It is in the bag.
So walking down to the lane here.
Thanks.
Okay. Let's pause here. Okay. So what he does is he comes in, and instead of going immediately for the rune, like, you can't draw on replays anyway, but like down in this area where the mouse cursor is, and immediately checking the rune, he first goes up here, and since he's so fast, he can afford to do this. He goes here and he checks, and I think if we jump back and then watch it, I think he'll click the Spirit Breaker, see if he has a ward, and try to notice where he puts the ward. So there we see him coming in, notice he has the ward. I think he pinged it out there. Anyway. So that's an important thing to do if you're like a high move speed hero like Luna, is you can walk up here first, assuming you get out of the base quickly. Check, look for their off lane, try to anticipate your lane, etc., etc. I got last hits here. Before running it unchecked in the rune, I think actually this time his team looks like they're going to contest bottom runes since they have somewhat of an early fighting lineup, like the Beaver's pretty good level 1, Invoker, nah, not very good. Omni Knight and Shadow Demon are very good level 1 though at rune fights, and then their team, you know, PA is going to have like Dagger, Arc Warden, and they're going to have Flux or whatever his E is, which are going to nuke you, but they have reasonably long cooldowns. Ricky's going to have Invis, Backstab, and then Morphling's either going to have Waveform or just have a bunch of agility and just be food. Anyway, so that's why his team is choosing to pressure on what's their kind of opposite rune. Anyway, so walks up, harasses here, and takes a shot
enough
from
time
the
to make a
tower,
cup of tea.
Outplayed. Okay. So
No demon
run over here.
ever been more assured.
Thinks about going for the rune,
Is in
but doesn't.
Time to get angry
Probably
with
could
each
have,
other.
but I guess he just misjudged that. So his team's fighting there. Gonna run up.
First blood!
Go to block the wave.
deceit.
Right, so teams dying, teams getting kills, yada yada yada. Not his concern. Don't need to watch that. Just block creeps. Creeps are good. I like creeps. Anyway, so coming up here. All right. So now had a decent block. Now throw out attack. Gets denied, or would deny there, but doesn't because the Ricky goes for last. All right. Does rush the wand. So pause here. Okay. So why he rushed the wand was because that gives you a bunch of survivability in the early game. If the PA rotates up and starts spamming daggers and stuff, then that's going to give you survivability, and that's going to give you the burst heal, as well as Spirit Breaker and Ricky. They're mostly burst damage. They don't really have a whole lot of sustain. So if you have the tank ability to survive the initial burst and then heal through their next wave of burst with your magic wand charges, then that makes you a lot more, makes you a lot harder to kill. And so, last hit here. Now, you've noticed that every time he last hits the creep, he also denies one of his own. So, we'll... Alright, game's paused. NA Dota. Okay. Alright, so we're back. Alright, so we can harass the Spirit Breaker a little bit, since this is a double melee range, and he's ranged here. Get that last hit. Harass. And game's paused again. NA Dota. Alright, so clicking heroes while it's paused, that's important. Check items, yada yada. Holy crap, this is a long pause. Okay. Oh, not over. Okay, and we're back. Alright, so harass them back. Just right click. Alright. So now it uses the stun there. Now, although it only does how much damage? 75 damage, so roughly like 1.5 right clicks. What you want to do that for is if you're just sitting at full mana, even if you don't have like a Basilius, Aquila, whatever, you still do have base 0.9 mana regen a second, okay? So if you use the Lucent, if you're just sitting at full mana, then you're not making use of that regen that you have naturally. But if you use the Lucent Beam to harass, then it's not really going to affect how many other Lucent Beams you can output later, because you're not exactly going to be trying to like spam Lucent Beam off cooldown. You're not exactly... That's just not how you play Luna in the early game. But it does A, harass, and B, allows you to get that mana regen, so then by the next time you're going to want to use Lucent Beam, your mana is going to be closer to full again, and you're going to make use of that regen as opposed to just having it sitting there wasted. Okay. So, every time last hits goes for a deny as well. Now that keeps your, that's sort of a basic principle, that just keeps the wave in equilibrium. Okay, now you want to do that yourself as the core player because your damage is likely going to be higher than the supports. So when you attack a creep, it deals, in this case, 68 damage to the wave in total when you last hit the creep. So then you need to deal 68 damage to your own creep wave to counteract that. So now let's say, how much does Shadow Demon? Said, okay, whatever. Alright, so the Shadow Demon's going to hit for less than that. Now he's going to hit for a bit because he's going to be affected by Lunar Blessing, so it's less so in this case, but in general. Your support's going to hit for likely less damage, going to be like, 40, 50 or so. Anyway, so then if they're doing the denying, unless they're getting like 2-3 hits off on the creeps, then it's still going to push because you're going to be doing 68 times 4, whatever that is. And that's going to be more than, your support denying at, 40 times 4. So, 160. Anyway, so that's just kind of a basic thing on how to keep the lane in control. And notice he's pretty much right where you want it. You don't necessarily want it in tower range, but but it's still roughly where you want it. Alright, so even now, deny, and last hit. Alright. Another thing that he's doing is he's attack clicking. Okay, and we're gonna watch that again. Jump back. Okay. So, well, let me go back to the attack click, and then we'll talk about when to talk about. Okay, so the attack move clicking, you'll notice his hero kind of wobbles back and forth, go, like, attack here, and then wobble back. Now, what that does is he's attacking and then canceling the backswing by right-clicking, just anywhere, and starting a move command, and then canceling it. So what that does is it, A, cancels the backswing on your attack animation, meaning you can deal more DPS by just attack moving. That's more prevalent on ranged heroes as opposed to melee heroes, unless you're playing like Lone Druid or something, and the bear has a huge backswing, but anyway. So what that does is it makes it so you can get more attacks per second off. But what it also does is it helps draw aggro away from you, because you can constantly be shifting back as you attack. So it helps you position better as opposed to just standing directly still in lane or walking side to side. Anyway. Alright, last hit's here. Okay, so now we're going to watch this. What he does, drops the wand to attack it, then picks it back up to hit it again. So what dropping the wand does is that decreases his damage by 4, which makes it, which drops it to, what, like 60 something? Anyway, if you have below 70, that means that the tower can do, I think it's like 3 shots, you attack it once, tower hits it, and then you attack it once more. You do the same thing by dropping like a quelling blade or something. As long as you can get your damage below that, then it makes it way easier to last it under tower. Now it does have the risk of, hey, you're dropping your items on the ground, and maybe there's, don't do that if you're being like heavily pressured. But anyway, just thing for lasting under tower. Alright, moving on. So, gonna buy the Wraith Band here, going for Kilo before boots, since not getting pressured, and we already have a Windlace here, which means that we're
Regeneration!
move speed, because we're gonna have about the same move speed as a normal hero with boots. Okay. Alright, we're gonna pause, we're gonna watch that fight back again, because I was talking. Okay, so they're doing the side pull here on Dire. You can do this on both Radiant and Dire off lanes. Very useful. Okay. So Shadow Demon notices this. So we're gonna get one beam off before. Shadow Demon's gonna get struck. Now watch. He walks past him here, so that this is something you always want to do when you're fighting, is look at the angle. Okay. So you want to have the angle so that in order to get back to, well, in this case his tower, his safe zone, he has to go through you, meaning you have more time to deal damage to him. Now in this case, since he's Spirit Breaker, he's just going to go for a charge, but he's saving move speed, gets in range, cancels the charge. Now you're going to chase this kill. He has higher move speed, obviously, because of said Windlace, even though I believe the Spirit Breaker might have boots. Now I think the SP gets the deny off here, if I recall. So, yeah, so a little bit of time wasted there. It's really not that much. He still has 10 CS, close to the top of the leaderboards right now. Right there. Okay. Walking back to lane now. Lane's slightly in a more unfavorable position, but we trust that our SD actually, if you notice, he's doing the pull right now. And since the Spirit Breaker's dead, we're not going to worry about feeding him the, like, 2 XP
Death's
per tower.
bounty.
Alright, so we've got the Wraith Band, makes it easier to last hit. Trade hits with him, since we have regen, he doesn't, we have higher base damage. But his tank is crap. So, we're back up here as our creep dies. Back. Shadow Demon, not concerned, and himself. We're just gonna sit here, hitting the creeps. Now here, not going for the knives, because A, Spirit Breaker, not in experience range. B, since the wave is pushing up, you don't want to have to last it under your tower if you can help it. You want to last it outside of your tower, like somewhere in this range. Still gonna keep neither range anyway, because that's a lot of XP, and we don't know exactly where the Spirit Breaker is at that point. Okay, so now 4 minutes of nighttime. This is where our night vision really comes in handy. What this means is we can see somebody coming to gank us before they see us. Okay. Now we'll notice on the skill build, holding onto a skill point here, not in stats, not in Lunar Blessings. I'm going to put this in glaives eventually, so that you can have maxed out glaives by like level 10, which means you get it before level 11, because the road between level 11 and level 12 is really long, as far as the amount of XP needed otherwise. So we're queuing up the healer here.
Bad dudes, middle tower, everyone, go, now!
Last hitting.
Seeing double.
Mana regen.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Still just last hitting. Okay, gonna go for another kill here because he's low. 2 Lucent Beams, not enough. Another third to cancel. Okay, whatever. We lose. Okay, come back. Notice on the courier, if I do a free camera on the courier, got not his tangos, not okay. So got ring protection that will finish his Aquila, and then flies himself out a clarity because he is now at fairly low mana. So you want to just pop the clarity, get back up. It's way easier than having to go back to base. You just fly yourself clarity. It's 50 gold. You're using the courier anyway. It's fine. Okay. So come back now. Avoid each other here being annoying. Spark Wraith.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Because that's a damage spell. Get this, get a Quelling Blade, pop clarity. Okay, ends up canceling it, but still got a bit of mana. Okay, so now we just farm. We're our way towards a Helden Dome. Alright, so we find that camp, we notice we're fairly low, so we're going to want to go back to base now because we're out of mana, we're running low on health, we don't have any HP regen items yet. So we're just going to kind of farm our way back to base. Now this is important. Instead of going to the side shop, TPing back to base, and then walking back to lane, what he's going to do is he's going to farm his way back through the jungle, and then walk back to his base, then TP back to lane, because right now the lane is pushed up, okay? He doesn't want to farm there. His supports have to be elsewhere. They can't just sit in the lane and babysit him and pull, because they have other things to do. Like, the Shadow Demon's trying to protect mid, like, your Invoker's already 1 and 4, like, you're losing bad. Shadow Demon needs to be there. You're fine. You're up here. You're 0, 0, 0. You're happy. Okay. So, he's going to farm his way back. So, Flash, quick speed, we're hitting kills. We've got that 1 point up in Moon Glaives. Going to help us a little bit. We're going to wait for the lane to push back and TP back in. And keep going. Now, fortunate things happening right now.
I'm better than
What you see
this.
is what
That sucks.
gets you.
Now, obviously I'm not as good as Arteezy, but how you could have avoided that, noticed Ricky's missing. If I were the Ricky, probably be hanging out at mid. Do you have a sentry ward at mid? I said at mid. Okay, you can just click on the map. Alright, cool. No. Okay, so you don't have a sentry ward at mid, so maybe it's a little bit harder to tell, but still, you know the Ricky's missing. He probably saw you leave lane. He's probably going to be in your jungle because They're kind of stomping right now, but it's an avoidable death, but that's not really one you want to sweat. Okay.
You know nothing unless the omniscience knows.
Yo, green dudes, something bad is happening. In your bottom.
Okay, so buys the TP. Notice, lane's back. Okay. So, what he wants to do here is he's level 6, he's got Eclipse, so he smokes himself in the fountain, and then he wants to go around, try to peck off this Arc Ward and get himself a kill. Because he's not really going to be joining team fights right now, so he's not worried about using his long cooldown on Eclipse here. He just wants to use it, put it on cooldown, get the cooldown timer going down, and get a kill. Alright. So,
Radiant structures are fortified.
Killing
Yo, green
spree!
dudes, something bad is happening. In your bottom.
And tries to TP out, so can't go for the kill there, but whatever. It's 50 gold. Okay. Gotta farm the camp here because Arc Warden's scary to lane against. He's just gonna spam his E and his Q on you, and you're gonna take a crap ton of damage, and life's gonna suck for you. Alright. So, farm the camp here. Yeah, we're gonna go up top.
Mad dude's top tower gonna
Go for kill
fall
on
over
this guy,
soon.
because he's got another player on his team TPing in. Here's where it gets real unfortunate, is because Arc Warden's a little bit imbalanced right now, so he's just kind of going to kill him here, because he's away from the creeps, so Flux just works on him.
Shite.
Alright, so he dies, buys back.
Ready for battle once more.
I think he abandons right now. Yeah. Okay, so that's where we're going to stop right now. Okay, but now, despite losing terribly like this, okay, he's still at 9 minutes, even in a pressured lane. He's died twice, still 47 and 10, pretty good CS, top in the CS charts, farming at the top of this PA. He's not gonna have the same net worth because he died and abandoned. But anyway, this PA, which has a good matchup versus the Invoker, so doing as well, at least in CS, as the PA. Okay, but important things were how he attacked his own, he denied and attacked at the same time to level out his creep wave. His item build going against an aggressive lane, and the way that he positioned himself always behind the wave and then just poking out for the CS with attack moving. Let me see what else. The way that he used his spells off cooldown to get his mana regen going, and then the way that he farmed his way back to base as opposed to just TPing and walking back, farmed his way back, TP'd as the wave came in. Oh, and then also the way he positioned himself in that attempted kill on Spirit Breaker behind him so as to force the angle to come in. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, so not the best game, obviously, for poor Artura here, but his laning phase was pretty decent, and there was a lot to be learned because he did a lot of quote-unquote high skill things. Anyway, so hope this was helpful. See you next time. Bye-bye.